Hi, my name is April and welcome back to my channel. This channel is about all things real estate. If you're brand new here, please be sure to hit the subscribe button, make sure to hit that like button, and don't forget to ring the bell so that you don't miss any future videos. Today we're talking about the seller financing addendum in California. We went over this with our brokerage meeting just a couple weeks ago, so I've decided to take that meeting discussion and bring it to you guys because I think it's really helpful. We do a lot of seller financing here in our area, especially for land properties, but the seller financing addendum can be kind of overwhelming. So I've decided to break it down for everybody, and hopefully it helps you with your next land deal so that you can get more offers by people that may or may not have been able to actually qualify for regular bank financing. Seller financing gives us a lot more flexibility. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen with you and let's get into it. So this is just your regular seller financing addendum, and you are going to fill out all the basic stuff you normally would. You're going to check that it's an addendum to the residential purchase agreement. Make sure you put in the date of that purchase agreement and of course the address. I've blacked out the names to protect the confidentiality. This box should have been checked here, principal amount. You're going to fill in the amount of the financing and then whatever percentage that you've negotiated. So with seller financing, generally it's a higher percentage rate than bank financing, just because they don't have to go through the hassles of dealing with a bank and the credit and qualifying purposes. Seller financing makes it a lot easier for people to finance a property. A lot of the times there's a balloon payment at the end. So you can use just an online calculator to get these amounts, but honestly, it doesn't really matter what you put in here. Escrow is going to calculate it and make sure that the amounts are correct. So I know it seems kind of scary, like you want to figure out the exact right amount for the payment, and we won't get it. So we just let escrow deal with it. You can even leave it blank if you want to. But a lot of times, most people are going to want to have some kind of number in there as a ballpark reference. And you're going to check whether it's on a monthly payment schedule or an annual payment schedule. You can get creative with seller financing. You know, I've had deals where somebody wasn't going to be able to make a payment for the first 6 months. So we did annual balloon payments for 3 years, and that worked great for them.
April, can I ask a question? So basically, also when you said this can be used on investment and land properties. So if, let's say, I have my house and somebody doesn't qualify, is this something then an addendum I would use to work out, you know, a payment thing?
Yeah, you can use it on any properties. It's just that typically land and investment properties are the only ones that are paid off. So with seller financing, and we'll talk about this when we get further down, because this section here allows you to put in a first position lien, like if they still have a bank lien on the property, it allows you to let them be in first position, and then the seller financing is secondary to that. But this is all kind of moot because no bank is going to allow you to have seller financing on top of their loan. They're not going to do that because this actually changes title. So the due on sale clause that comes with their original mortgage would trigger that having to be paid off. So you're unlikely to use a seller financing addendum on anything other than an investment property or land. I mean, I can think of maybe 2 houses that I've ever seen that have seller financing available.
Okay.
And a lot of the times it's going to be a shorter term. So with land especially, we're usually doing a seller financing for say 5 years, which gives them enough time to build their house, and then they can pay off the entire seller financing addendum with a new mortgage that they can get, just a standard mortgage, because now they have a house on the property. So it's very common to have a big balloon payment. This particular one, the balloon payment is in 10 years, which is standard on investment properties. This section right here says that you need to fill out a loan application and do a credit report. So everybody is agreeing to a loan application and a credit report within 5 days of the contract. These documents, we always check note and deed of trust, installment land sale contract. And I'm just going to kind of gloss over these because we only have so much time. But if anybody has any further questions about any specific section, you can always send me a message after we're off the Zoom. Late charge, you're going to want to check this. So if the buyer makes a payment that's late after the first 15 days is what I always put in. And I always put a 6% penalty, which is the legally allowed limit. You can't go over 6% for a late payment. And it has that in here in case you forget. The balloon payment is on this one. It happens to be $370, which is the full principal amount. And I don't remember why that was, how that came to be. I think maybe their interest payments, it was interest only.
That's
so
what I was thinking.
I think they just had that full principal amount to be due 10 years later. Let's see here. We're also going to click the due on sale box because we don't want them to sell the property and continue to use this seller financing to finance something else. You want to make sure that you click the title insurance box and the hazard.
Will you go back? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
What's the due on sale? Can you explain that one again?
So if the property is sold, say these buyers that have this contract decide to sell the property to someone else, the due on sale clause triggers that they get paid back.
Yes.
The seller's getting paid back before the property transfers.
Okay, makes sense.
Okay, so hazard insurance, you're going to want to make sure if you've got the seller that the buyer is getting their own hazard insurance and that they're naming the seller as a payee on that insurance. This is common practice, something that you would also do too if you were going to do early occupancy. You always want to make sure that the seller is a payee on their hazard insurance by the buyer.
Okay.
Negative amortization, I don't recommend that. Not going to want to check that. Other than that, we're just going to check the recording box saying that we're going to record the note and deed of trust. Like I said, these are going to be left blank. It's unlikely that you'll use those. And it's built in here that the this is basically like a really basic version of their loan application. So it just gives the borrower and co-borrowers information. This really should have been filled out, but we had already done the credit report prior to even doing this contract. So we didn't have that filled out.
Where did you get your credit report done? Do you remember?
Well, I have access to credit reports, but I mean, there's places that you can get them online.
Yeah.
But if you guys ever need a credit report, I can always pull one and you can just pay me the $35 that it costs.
Okay.
Makes it easy.
So we should do one on the buyer.
Yeah, you definitely need to do a credit report because, you know, what if they have terrible credit? And it's not really your decision to decipher the credit report because you're not lenders. I would just take the credit report, the loan application, present it all to your seller and let them make a decision on whether that person is credit worthy or not.
Okay.
And that's it for the seller financing addendum.
Hopefully all of that was really helpful information for you. And I know you're probably going to have more questions. There's a lot to it. So feel free to drop any questions you have in the comments below, or you can always DM me over on Instagram at April_Nossel. Other than that, hope you have a fantastic day. Happy selling, and I'll see you next time. Bye.